You know, guys, people say that cancel culture is nothing more than consequence culture. I'm more of the opinion that cancel culture is more akin to witch hunts. And much like witch hunts, once you get through burning someone's character to the ground, down to the ashes, it's impossible to uncancel that person. Once you get through doing all of the damage of all of the slander and the libel, once you get through doing that, it's the damage is irreparable. All right. So my question is, if cancel culture is consequence culture, what do you call this next story that I'm about to talk about? Is there any consideration for when you find out that you falsely accused someone or didn't get all of the information needed to actually and effectively cancel someone? What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And today I'm going to talk to you about one Miss Rosario Dawson. Yes, Rosario Dawson. She's known for a lot of things, but most recently, and especially in this space here in this fandom, she's known for bringing the beloved character of Ahsoka Tano to life on the last season of The Mandalorian. And she did a wonderful job. She did a bang-up job. But the fact of the matter is, right around that time is when we saw something else going on with The Mandalorian and Disney, and that was the cancellation of Gina Carano. All right, so that was going on back then too. But also, when people were talking about Gina Carano and canceling her, Rosario Dawson's name was thrown in the mix as well. Because during that time, Rosario was going through a legal battle with an ex-friend who was an ex-employee who turns out was an ex-woman. That's a lot of exes. But I don't think they live in Texas. Dad humor. I got that. Okay, so Rosario Dawson was involved in a legal battle with an ex-employee who was an ex-friend, like I said before, by the name of Dietrich Finley. Okay, and I want to say Diedrich. Okay, let's say Diedrich Finley. Okay, and this person who had transitioned was accusing Rosario Dawson and her mother Isabel of all types of cruelty, transphobia, bullying her, even getting physical with her. Her mother, Isabel. Come on now, when's the last time you heard about somebody named Isabel who was beating somebody's ass? I don't think so. Leave that poor woman alone. But this is what Mr. I guess now Finley is alleging. All right, so anyway, so that news broke, all right, that Rosario Dawson was involved in this big legal battle. And it got out, and people started saying that Rosario Dawson was transphobic. So they started calling for her cancellation and saying, how could Disney be hiring Gina Carano and Rosario Dawson, and they need to be out of here, and we're not going to watch anything. And, you know, the news kind of died down for a while. I mean, you know, The Mandalorian is on hiatus, so I believe there's supposed to be an Ahsoka series on Disney Plus that's coming up. So you would expect that, you know, the talk is going to pick up because the cancel culture mob, they don't care about anything. They don't care to follow up on the story. And that's the reason why I'm talking about this, because you can make a big old deal about it all over the place when you want to cancel somebody. But when it turns out there's an extra part to this story, all of a sudden everything gets very, very quiet. Now, the fact of the matter is, the case got thrown out of court for lack of evidence. It just came out, just got thrown out like on the 21st. No one is talking about that, of course. But like I said, if Ahsoka goes on, you know that these people are going to come back out like they never knew anything because there's some ignorant bastards, right? So I want to do my part to at least be reference material so those of you can combat these people when they do come out on social media with the torches and the pitchforks and stuff like that. The case was thrown out, okay? So I saw this story on Vanity Fair, and I want to give you a little update about what's being said here, okay? So it says, in part, by Finley's own account, according to his lawsuit, he had known the Dawsons for roughly 20 years when he moved from New York to California a few years ago. Finley told Out magazine that Dawson and her family gave him a place to live, a paying job, and that the actress had personally given him money to help with the relocation. I guess it's true what they say, no good deed goes unpunished. This woman gave him a place to live, a job, and it giving him money, and he turns around and then tries to do this to destroy her character and the character of her family. It was around that time that Finley told them that he was transitioning. According to Out, that happy start to his time in Los Angeles eventually devolved into a series of increasingly hostile disagreements that finally exploded in the form of a lawsuit and allegations of discrimination and assault. See, listen guys, you can't help but think this, right? When you see somebody doing all that they were doing, not just Rosario, but her family, looking out for this guy, and then all of a sudden, it all just slams on the brakes, and now all of a sudden they're beating your ass, they're bullying you, they're doing all of this inhuman cruelty towards you. Now all of a sudden, you know, all of this is happening. My thing is, isn't it more than likely that they decided to turn off the spigot? They decided to say, listen, that's enough, all right? You've taken enough. You know, now you got to do your own thing. They were doing everything for this person. And if they were doing that, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would stop? What would turn if they were being that beneficial to this person? What would cause all of that to stop? Other than if they just stopped doing something for him. You know, but that's just me. That's just me being, you know, I don't know, you know, just trying to figure it all out. I'm interested in the truth here. According to Out, that happy start in his time, it devolved into a series of increasingly hostile disagreements that finally exploded in the form of a lawsuit, allegations of discrimination and assault. He detailed what he describes as the collapsing relationship between him and the Dawsons that he claims led to a physical clash with Dawson and her sweet, sweet mother, Isabel. In that interview, Finley and one of his attorneys also described his conflict with the Dawsons as part of a larger struggle for trans rights and equality. A larger struggle for trans rights and equality. What has this got to do with your relationship with Rosario Dawson and her family? The larger struggle for trans rights and whatever they said, trans rights and equality. Why, to me, this reeks of Juicy Smollett. It's the same thing. Some people came out and beat the shit out of me, and now I'm going to get up on a soapbox and use this as a platform, you know, for the rights of gays and trans. You just want you want your message out there so badly. Sometimes you will fabricate shit, you know, just to get the sympathy of the people. The only thing is, a lot of times your lie is paper thin and it's not that hard to see through it, you know. So I'm just seeing it. In that interview, Finley and one of his attorneys also described his conflict as part of a larger struggle for trans rights and equality. I always hope there would be some reconciliation, but when it goes physical, that's it. You have to take a stand for yourself, not only for myself, but for the community, Finley said. Yes, apologies made to whoever it pleases, but still they got me like Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like these people, they put themselves out there as being crucified. You know, truth be damned. After withdrawing most of the other claims, the two that Finley continued to pursue related only to his alleged assault involving Dawson and her mother. But in September, Finley's lawyer, David S. Ratner, petitioned the court to leave the case. In the quest for removal form, Ratner wrote, "Counsel is unable to continue to provide effective representation to the client because of the client's actions and inactions during the pendency of his case. To protect the attorney-client privilege, no further details regarding this assertion can be given." Okay, so basically his own defense, his own lawyer, I should say, quit on him because the guy can't produce any type of evidence to back up the claim. So, of course, it had to get thrown out. Now, there it is, okay? My only question is, those people who went after Rosario Dawson, and will probably continue to go after them, if it's really consequence culture, as people like LeVar Burton likes to say, then how do you explain what happened to Rosario Dawson and what's happening to her? You know, the case got thrown out. So her reputation should be intact, right? It should all be over, right? But the fact remains, they went to cancel her. And I'm guessing that when Ahsoka picks up the production I'm talking about, you'll see these people come back out again with their accusations. So as you can see, it's not about consequence. It's about the mindset of the mob that we have out here today that will stop at nothing to tear down people that they feel, for whatever reason, goes against that narrative that says that everybody's beautiful in their own way. So they're going to liken her to being transphobic, and because she's been branded as transphobic, they're not going to leave her alone, even though the case no longer applies. So there's my question, guys. After you get through canceling somebody and you find out that you're wrong, how do you go about uncanceling them? I'm saying that it can't be done, which is the reason why cancel culture is a poison on our society. But guys, I'm going to leave the link to this article here in the comment section, and you can check it out for yourself. You can get in the comment section, and you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. As always, you can catch me on Twitter. If you choose not to do that, that's fine. You can catch me on the next video. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.